Jeffrey Edward Epstein was born in 1953 in Brooklyn, New York, into a middle-class Jewish family. Nothing about his early life suggested extreme wealth, power, or global influence. A student who learned quickly but did not necessarily stand out as exceptional. What did stand out even early on was his ability to observe people and adapt to them. Epstein enrolled at New York University and later Cooper Union, studying mathematics and physics. However, he never completed a degree, and yet, despite lacking formal credentials, he was soon entered environments usually reserved for the highly educated elite. Epstein started working in September 1974 as a physics and mathematics teacher at the Dalton School on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. At Dalton, Epstein taught to the children of New York's wealthy and powerful families. This was Epstein's first real exposure to the elite social networks. But he did not remain a teacher for long, but the connections he made quietly shaped the rest of his life. After leaving Dalton, Epstein moved into the financial world, not through traditional routes, not through resumes or credentials, but through personal relationships. He joined Bear Stearns, a major investment bank, where he worked in a role that was never fully explained publicly. He was not a typical trader, not a visible executive. Instead, Epstein operated behind the scenes, managing relationships and positioned himself close to money rather than markets. By the late 1980s, he left Bear Stearns and claimed to form his own private financial firm, but this is where things become unusually opaque. Epstein described himself as a private financial advisor to an extremely small group of ultra-wealthy individuals, not dozens of clients, possibly fewer than 10. There were no public offices, no clear list of inventors, no transparent records, and yet Epstein lived like someone managing enormous wealth. So, what was his business? Epstein was not creating value in traditional sense. Epstein did not sell products. He sold solutions to problems that could not be discussed openly. Power does not always look like force. Sometimes it looks like access. Private jets, private meetings, private introductions. Jeffrey Epstein did not hold public office. He did not run a major corporation. He moved freely among the most powerful people on the planet. Presidents, princes, billionaires, scientists. The question was never who Epstein was. The real question was, why so many powerful people trusted him? Epstein understood one simple truth. Power is not about money alone. It is about proximity. He positioned himself as a connector, a fixer, someone who could open doors others could not. Invasions came quietly. Flights were arranged privately. Meetings happened behind closed doors. There were no contracts, no official rules, only favors, and favors create dependency. According to court records and multiple testimonies, Epstein operated a system built on requirements, on control, on silence. Young girls, many of them minors, were brought through promises, money, opportunities, false mentorship. Once inside the system, the rules changed.
Well, we definitely received substantial evidence that he was involved in trafficking young women and children to the Virgin Islands for a very long period of time through our airport, through his private jet. And then he would, by helicopter or sometimes boat, would then transport them over to Little St. James. And that's where he has his complex where he lives, which is his official residence as well.
The most disturbing part of Epstein's operation did not happen in public. It happened far away, on private island in the Caribbean. Little St. James, a place cut off from journalists, from law enforcement, from oversight. Epstein presented it as a retreat, luxury, privacy, freedom from rules. Invitations were personal, private flights, no records, no witnesses. Many were told it was simply a place to relax, to network, to escape scrutiny. But the island served a darker purpose. In 2008, Epstein was arrested. The charges were serious. The evidence was substantial. But outcome shocked many. Epstein received a deal, a sentence that allowed him to leave jail most days. The system protected its own.
Convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein remains behind bars today on the latest child sex charges lodged against him. Epstein's arrest last week has put the spotlight on a private Caribbean island he owns, one that some have dubbed the Island of Sin. Our Lisa Guerrero traveled to the Virgin Islands for this look.
This looks like an island paradise, but what allegedly happened here to teenage girls was horrific. Suddenly, a member of Epstein's staff appears when I step off. Sir, is this where the young girls were brought?
For years, Epstein returned to his life of wealth. Private flights resumed, connection remained, until the story refused to disappear. In 2019, Epstein was arrested again, this time federal charges, this time public attention, this time no quiet exit. Epstein died in a jail cell, officially ruled a suicide, but questions remain about systems that protect power, about silence that enables abuse, and about how influence can shield crimes for decades. Epstein is gone, but the system that allowed him to operate still exists.